Everyone in that building was afraid of her. 14 pounds of pure muscle, legs built for running down prey, ears the size of a grown man's hand. Her name was Nyla, a Savannah cat only 3 generations removed from the African serval. And when the staff found out she was pregnant, nobody celebrated. They whispered instead, "She'll reject them. Cats like her don't mother, they hunt." One volunteer refused to clean her room alone. Another said the words out loud that everyone else was thinking, "That animal doesn't know how to love anything." Then came a Tuesday night in March, and at exactly 3 a.m. inside a quiet room with the lights off, Nyla did something that made every single one of them wrong. But before I tell you what happened at 3 a.m., you need to understand why they doubted her, because they had a reason, a real one. Nyla was not born in a home. She was born in a breeding facility 3 states away, in a cage barely wider than her own body. Her mother was taken from her at 4 weeks old. Too early, far too early. And a kitten who never learns what a mother is often grows up not knowing how to be one. That's what the science says. That's what the shelter director said too. Nyla arrived at the rescue center at 18 months old. Her previous owner had returned her twice. The first family said she was too wild. She climbed the curtains. She opened doors with her paws. The second family lasted 6 weeks. They wrote one sentence on the surrender form: "She doesn't want to be touched." And it was true. For the first month, Nyla lived under a shelf in the corner of room 4. She ate only when the lights went out. If you walked toward her, she didn't hiss, she didn't run. She just watched, completely still, those enormous ears turning like radar dishes. There was a woman there named Dana, 52 years old, 20 years of experience, and a bad knee that made her sit on the floor instead of crouch. Every single evening, Dana sat down in that room. She didn't reach for Nyla, she didn't talk to her. She just sat, sometimes for 40 minutes. On the 31st day, Nyla walked out from under the shelf, she stopped 6 feet away, and she sat down too. That was it. That was the whole moment. But Dana went home that night and cried in her car. 3 months later, the vet delivered news nobody expected. Nyla was pregnant. She'd been pregnant when she arrived. And that's when the whispering started. Because a cat who spent 31 days hiding under a shelf is not the cat you trust with 4 newborn lives. Dana knew it. She'd seen it happen before. She'd seen mothers walk away from their kittens and never look back. So she prepared for the worst. She set up a heating pad, formula, tiny bottles, the kind you feed to orphans. She wrote a schedule on the whiteboard, feedings every 2 hours, around the clock. Underneath it, in smaller letters, she wrote one more line: "Hope we don't need this." The night before the birth, Nyla stopped eating. She paced the room for hours. She pulled a towel into the corner with her teeth. Then she moved it twice. Dana watched her on the camera until 2 in the morning. "She's not restless," the night vet said. "She's just restless. Don't read into it." But Dana knew what she was seeing. Nyla wasn't restless. She was choosing a spot, and she was choosing carefully. The kittens came on a Sunday. 4 of them, 3 spotted, 1 so dark he looked almost black. And Nyla did exactly what everyone predicted. She stood up, she walked to the far corner of the room, and she left them there. For 11 minutes, those 4 kittens cried alone on a white blanket while her mother stood in a corner staring at the wall. Dana reached for the bottles. "I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, after everything Nyla went through, that breaks my heart a little. Hit that button now." Dana's hand was on the box of formula when she heard it, a sound she had never heard from Nyla, not once in 7 months. A chirp, low, soft, almost like a bird. Nyla was standing over her kittens, and she was making the sound that Savannah mothers make in the wild, the sound her own mother made for 4 weeks before she was taken. She hadn't abandoned them. She'd been listening, standing in that corner, ears turning, checking every sound in that building, every footstep in the hallway, every door. She was doing a perimeter check. She was making sure the room was safe before she lay down and made herself vulnerable. Nobody taught her that. Nobody could have. At 3 a.m., Dana came back to check on them. She opened the door slowly and looked inside. And she stopped breathing. Nyla was curled in a perfect circle around all 4 kittens. not near them, around them. Her body formed a wall, her tail closed the gap. Every kitten was tucked against her stomach, feeding, and her eyes were wide open. She wasn't sleeping, she was watching the door. Dana stood there for a long time, then she whispered one sentence. "You knew the whole time, didn't you?" Nyla blinked at her, slowly, once. Then she laid her chin down over her kittens and kept watching. She didn't leave that bed for 6 days. Dana brought food to her, water. Nyla ate lying down, one paw still resting across the smallest kitten's back. On the 4th day, a delivery truck backed into the loading dock outside. The beeping was loud enough to shake the windows. Every other cat in that building panicked. Nyla didn't move an inch. She just tightened the circle. On the 5th day, the smallest kitten stopped feeding. He was cold to the touch. Dana reached in to take him, and for the first time, Nyla growled. Not at Dana, at the kitten. She pulled him back with her paw. She pressed him flat against her chest, right over her own heartbeat. Then she started licking, hard, fast, relentless. 20 minutes later, that kitten was feeding again. The vet checked him the next morning and looked at Dana for a long moment. "That purring may have actually saved his life," he said. That's when the volunteer who'd once refused to enter her room came and stood at the glass. He watched for a full minute, then he shook his head. "I owe that cat an apology," he said. Some stories are too good to keep to yourself. Here's the part that still gets me. Nyla was never taught how to be a mother. She was taken from hers before she could learn a single thing. By every measure we use, she should have failed. But love isn't something you're taught. Sometimes it's something you remember. Somewhere deep inside her, under the fear and the 2 returns and the 31 days beneath a shelf, she remembered. She remembered the sound. She remembered the circle. She remembered the warmth. And she gave it all back to 4 kittens who will never know how close they came to growing up without it. All 4 survived. Every one of them found a home. The dark one, the smallest, stayed with Dana. She named him Third because he was the 3rd one born and because he was her 3rd chance to get something right. And Nyla? Nyla lives in Dana's house now, in a room with a window that faces the sunrise. She still sits 6 feet away sometimes. She still watches doors. But she comes when Dana calls. So please, if you're ever standing in front of an animal that everyone has already given up on, wait, just wait. The ones nobody wanted are so often the ones who love the hardest because they know exactly what it costs to be left behind. Being a mother isn't taught in a classroom. It isn't bred into a bloodline. Sometimes it's just waits, quietly in the dark, until the moment it's needed. So tell me honestly, was that instinct or was that love? Let me know in the comments.